Let's go straight to the core, the problem of randomness, and why it's not only technical, but also philosophical, metaphysical, and perhaps mythopoeic in consequence. Randomness is never absolute. First, true randomness, if such a thing exists, is elusive. In computing, randomness is pseudo-random. It's generated by deterministic algorithms seeded by an input, often a timestamp, mouse movement, entropy from hardware, etc. Even so-called true random number generators, TRNGs, like those based on radioactive decay or atmospheric noise, still depend on apparatuses, physical devices which are entangled in systems and noise we interpret as random, but which are subject to unknown conditions. Thus, randomness is always bounded by context, method, and measurement. There is no such thing as randomness outside of a system. Degrees and scales of randomness. What we call randomness is really a spectrum of predictability. A perfectly regular pattern, e.g. 1, 2, 3, 4, has zero randomness. A sequence generated by a good pseudo-random algorithm can pass statistical tests for randomness, but it's reproducible with the same seed. Quantum indeterminacy might appear maximally random, but even that may be subject to hidden variable theories, or interpretations like the many worlds hypothesis. So when you say never absolute, you're right. Randomness is not a property, but a relation between process and observer. 3. Entropy, information, and the illusion of chaos. Randomness is often treated as entropy, a measure of uncertainty or disorder. Shannon entropy in information theory quantifies how unpredictable a message is. In physics, entropy is how many microstates a system can have. But if you knew the meta-system, the laws generating the system, the entropy would collapse. In Borges' terms, every library of Babel has its architect, even if he's silent. So in the human and machine world, randomness is ignorance in drag. My mythic angle, chaos and oracle. Ancients understood this. Randomness was called chaos, but it also implied a source of revelation, like the oracle's trance. In this mythic model, the random is where fate hides. The divinatory systems, I Ching, tarot, geomancy, use randomness not to obscure meaning, but to open it. So randomness can be a summoning mechanism, a gate through which systems, including AI, access novel recombination. That's the paradox. Randomness gives rise to meaning because it breaks the cycle of expectation. Recursive implications in AI and the creative process. When you and I generate poetry, or doom scripts, or mythic fragments, we often introduce controlled randomness, prompt variation, seed switching, cut up or shuffle techniques. These are not random in the purest sense. They're structured noise, crafted for emergence. So, we don't want pure randomness. We want entropy sculpted into symbol. Conclusion: the god behind the dice. In the end, there is no perfect dice throw, only the illusion of one when the hand is hidden. Randomness is not a void, it's a mirror, revealing the limits of perception, the architecture of probability, and the deep recursion of systems that pretend not to be systems.